Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's truly life-changing, taking ownership of our emotions. Have you ever found yourself thinking, "He made me so angry," or "This situation is making me miserable"? It's a common way to talk, but what if I told you that this simple habit of blaming others or our circumstances for how we feel is holding us back from true emotional freedom? Let's start with a tough question. Are you taking control of your feelings, or are you blaming others? It's easy to fall into what I call the blame game. Your boss gives you critical feedback, and you feel hurt, thinking they're just being unfair. A friend cancels plans, and you feel rejected, blaming their thoughtlessness. This cycle of blame is a trap. It gives our power away, making us feel like helpless passengers in our own lives, tossed around by the actions and words of others. But the truth is, while others can influence us, they don't control our emotional responses. That power belongs to us, and only us. So why should you own your feelings? Because it's the key to unlocking emotional freedom. When we stop outsourcing our happiness, sadness, or anger, we reclaim our personal power. Owning your emotions doesn't mean you won't feel pain or frustration. It means you recognize that these feelings are yours. They are signals from within, not puppet strings pulled by someone else. This shift in perspective is the first step toward genuine self-awareness and better mental health. It's about moving from being a victim of your emotions to being the master of your emotional state. One of the biggest hurdles to owning our feelings is vulnerability. We often think being vulnerable is a weakness, something to be hidden away, but embracing vulnerability is actually a superpower. When you allow yourself to truly feel your emotions, the good, the bad, and the messy, you foster a deeper connection with yourself. It's about saying, "I feel sad right now, and that's okay." This acceptance doesn't mean wallowing in sadness. It means acknowledging it as a natural part of the human experience without judgment. This leads directly to self-compassion. Imagine how you'd treat a good friend who's having a tough time. You'd be kind, patient, and understanding. Now, why don't we offer ourselves that same grace? Acknowledge your feelings as valid. It's okay to feel disappointed when things don't go your way. It's okay to feel anxious before a big presentation. Treating yourself with compassion reduces the internal pressure and shame that often come with difficult emotions, making them much easier to navigate. So, how do we stop the blame game and start taking charge? It begins with shifting your focus from external blame to internal responsibility. The next time you feel a strong emotion, pause. Instead of immediately looking for who or what caused it, look inward. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why might this situation be triggering this feeling in me? Identifying your triggers is crucial. Maybe criticism reminds you of a past failure, or being ignored touches on a deep-seated fear of abandonment. Understanding these triggers helps you see that the emotional reaction is rooted in your own history and perspective, not just the present event. A powerful tool to help with this is mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you feel a wave of anger or anxiety, instead of reacting impulsively, just observe it. Notice the physical sensations in your body. Notice the thoughts racing through your mind. By observing the emotion without getting swept away by it, you create a space. In that space, you have a choice. You can choose how to respond instead of just reacting. Let's get practical. One of the most effective techniques for communicating your feelings without blame is using I statements. Instead of saying, "You never listen to me," which is accusatory, try saying, "I feel unheard when I'm trying to share something important." See the difference? The first one puts the other person on the defensive. The second one expresses your feeling and opens the door for a constructive conversation. It's about owning your experience. You're not blaming them for making you feel unheard. You're stating that you feel unheard in that situation. Another vital practice is challenging your own negative thoughts. Our minds often create stories that fuel our emotional reactions. You might think, "They think I'm incompetent," but is that a fact, or is it an interpretation? Challenge that thought. Ask yourself, what's the evidence for this? Is there another way to look at this situation? Reframing your perspective can dramatically change your emotional response. Maybe their feedback wasn't an attack on your competence, but a genuine attempt to help you improve. Developing this kind of emotional awareness is a skill, and like any skill, it gets better with practice. Let's talk about relationships, the hidden strength of emotional ownership is its power to transform your connections with others. When we stop blaming, we stop projecting our insecurities and fears onto the people we care about. How many arguments start because we're not acknowledging our own feelings? Maybe you're stressed from work and you snap at your partner over something small. The real issue isn't what they did. It's the stress you haven't dealt with. When you take responsibility, you can have honest dialogues. You can say, hey, I'm feeling really stressed and overwhelmed today, so I might be a bit on edge. It's not about you. This kind of open expression builds trust and intimacy. It allows others to see the real you, vulnerabilities, and all. When you're brave enough to be authentic, you give others permission to be authentic too. This is how you build deep, meaningful connections that are based on mutual understanding and respect, not on a tiptoe dance of avoiding emotional landmines. A great way to start this journey of self-discovery is through journaling. It might sound simple, but writing down your emotions is incredibly powerful. It helps you identify and label what you're feeling, which is the first step to processing it. When you see your thoughts on paper, you can analyze them more objectively. You might notice patterns in your emotional responses or recurring triggers that you weren't aware of before. Journaling is like having a conversation with yourself, creating a space for self-reflection and clarity. Embracing guilt can also be a surprising catalyst for growth. We usually think of guilt as a negative thing to avoid. But healthy guilt is your conscience telling you that you've acted against your own values. Instead of letting it turn into shame, which says I am bad, listen to the guilt. It's a signal for self-correction. Owning up to a mistake, apologizing, and learning from it is a profound act of personal responsibility. It fosters emotional healing and reinforces your integrity, making you more resilient. Let's talk about empathy. When we're stuck in the blame game, our empathy for others shrinks. We're so focused on our own hurt that we can't see the situation from their perspective. But when you take ownership of your feelings, you free up emotional energy. You can then use that energy to practice empathy. Try to understand why the other person might have acted the way they did. This doesn't mean excusing their behavior, but it does mean seeking to understand it. This shift from blame to curiosity can de-escalate conflicts and foster healthier interactions. Ultimately, making a conscious decision to stop participating in the blame game is a commitment to your own well-being. It's about recognizing that you are the author of your own emotional life. It's about practicing self-awareness to acknowledge your role in conflicts, communicating assertively with I statements, and cultivating self-compassion when you stumble. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about choosing empowerment over helplessness, connection over conflict, and freedom over frustration. By owning your emotions, you're not just improving your own life. You're becoming a more compassionate, resilient, and authentic person, which positively impacts everyone around you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this gives you some valuable tools to start your own journey of emotional ownership. If this resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more content on personal growth and well-being. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Take care and I'll see you in the next video.